So I'm visiting my old boarding school today, and it's deep because I got PTSD in this place. And I spent 7 years here, and today was a bit of a test to see if I could stomach coming here, because the last time I got even close to this place, I was down the road in Horsham, and I felt my breathing getting more deeper because my body was still thinking I wasn't safe. And it sometimes takes a while to retrain your brain and your body to know, hey, do you know what, right now, the same things that happened years ago aren't going to happen again. So here I am today. I still remember 7 years ago, this door here. I remember saying goodbye to my mum there, and I remember what that felt like and what the next 7 years felt like. As I've been going around, so many memories, so many things that I can't even share on camera, you know. I share some things, you know, but it's a madness, the way life was for those 7 years. Absolutely mad. And yeah, just so thankful that I managed to get counselling to help me with the PTSD that I went through for so many years. Everyone who knew me at school, like, you knew me with PTSD. Everyone who knew me as an adult, you knew me with PTSD. You know, it's just, for me, I didn't even know I had PTSD. It was just a normal part of life because of the trauma. Our school had so many off-key things go on, you know. There was peer-on-peer abuse, and there was teacher-pupil abuse, and we've had loads of teachers go to prison for it. And I know there's some people there, some people still haven't got the justice they would have liked to have seen. And I trust that God sees everything and that he will bring about justice one day. And I'm also very thankful for the way that God has helped me through these things. I'm thankful to my family for coming with me today to be support to me, to help me through this experience. And I'm just amazed that I could actually stand here today and be here and not actually have the PTSD symptoms that I had last time I got near the school. And it's also interesting that I came here in my 20s and I wasn't fazed when I came here in my 20s, and that's because how you can feel about traumatic events can change over time, because if you don't get to properly process stuff, if you get to push it down, bury it deep down, you have survival strategies that take over. You kind of laugh about what happened. You say, oh, it was character building and all that kind of thing. And you don't fully understand what happened. And sometimes it can be years later that you start realizing, oh my days, that really did happen and it shouldn't have. And at that stage, if anyone else out there is at that stage, I'd say could be a good time to get counseling from a trauma-informed therapist who can help you through this. I got help. I'm just hoping anyone else out there can get help too. Okay, what I'm going to do with the rest of this video is just show you some places and some little stories about my experience at boarding school. And if you're wondering how did I end up going to boarding school, basically my head teacher told me in my local Church of England school just off the estate, said to me, Duncan, your mum can't afford to look after you, but if you go to boarding school, you have everything paid for you. And I was like, okay, sign me up. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to leave home. And I didn't like, on term time, being away from the estate. But I thought this was the right thing to do, that it would help my mum out. And I now see how it was kind of like ultimate classism going on there. You know, the kid in the single parent home on the estate, teachers like, yeah, he should go to boarding school. That would be better for him. And it wasn't. Anyway, let's move on. So this is the dining hall, and I remember sitting here, right here, at the end of the table, and I had boiling hot water poured right over my head, and I remember the shock. And then I remember just sprinting, like I just sprinted down there, found a big basin, jumped in it, turned the cold water tap on, and then just, you know, poured cold water all over myself. And then from there I sprinted all the way to the hospital. And when I got there, it's a school hospital, so it was nearby, And then they said that because I put the cold water all over me at first, that had stopped it boiling over so that I didn't have permanent scars. So I feel very blessed by that. So yeah, when I say boiling water, just clarify, it was like a hot jug of tea that had just been put in the hot metal jug from the machine. So it was like proper, the water was proper hot, like almost boiling, you know. So when I was hungry, which was a lot of time because our food would be nicked a lot of the time, I would come to this building on a Tuesday afternoon to make toast and jam. Me and my friends would call it MT, Operation MT for make toast. We'd be quite secretive about it. MT today. I'm going to go and make toast and jam to get food. And when I couldn't get toast, I would eat the dog biscuits here because the bloke here had a dog and he had these chocolate dog biscuits and they tasted disgusting, but they were food still. And that bloke, the chaplain of the school, is now in prison, which just shows what a crazy place this was. I don't think this is the right building, okay? I don't think this is the right building, but it's close to where there used to be a photography darkroom. And the thing with this darkroom, right, is that, or maybe this was the darkroom. I'm not too sure. It was a building around here somewhere. Maybe it's been knocked down by now. The teacher who used to run the darkroom, he's now in prison for abuse, okay? He used to abuse people. For me personally, I was in the darkroom with this guy and he never once abused me, never did anything that would hint that he would be that way. But I totally believe that he did abuse people. And this is the thing that everyone needs to understand about abusers. They will be nice to some people as part of their ploy to win people's trust and everything. And we should never be people who say, oh no, that person was really nice to me. I don't believe he could have ever abused someone else. We need to recognize that people actually, they don't just groom their victims, but they groom bystanders so that people will support them and defend them when they get caught abusing people. So in this building, I used to do home economics, and I thought I was so smart when I picked home economics as a activity to do, because it meant I got free food. So I would cook food on a Tuesday afternoons, I think it was, which was great because food was a real big deal, obviously. And I was hungry. Older boys, they might have taken my lunch, so I would make food, and it was so good until some of the older boys started realizing that's what I was doing, and so then they would come and wait for me, and then I would come out with my tin foil container, 2 of them maybe with some food, and then they'd be like, give us the food, so a proper gutting. But for a moment, it felt so good to have come up with a solution. So yeah. I've got fond memories of Rick, wonderful guy, and fond memories of Danny as well, Danny Smith. I was actually his nursemaid, so I was like assigned to show him the ropes when he first arrived. Lovely guy too. So this is where I used to live, up there. Yeah, I used to sleep up there in the dormitory. And coming back here is a very, very strange feeling. I remember walking up to there in trepidation each day. So these windows here, they back then, I don't know if we didn't have curtains or the curtains were broken or something, but the light used to come in and shine on the TV. When the older boys were watching a movie, they would make us younger boys stand in the windows as curtains. And you have to stand in position, try and block out the sun. Sometimes you would kind of lose focus and someone would shout 4, because that was my number that people called me, 4. Or the person next to me like 3. And then you're like, oh, sorry, quickly block it up again. And those were the kind of things that at the time we laughed at, and we were like, oh, it's all character building and all that. But, you look back and those are like the small things the small things that just kind of brought about a whole culture in which abuse could happen very easily. Because when that's like your baseline of just standard behavior, not something to complain about or anything, you know, then you can imagine that then creates the environment for a whole bunch of unhealthy stuff to go on unchecked. All right, so this is called Harry's Alley. And basically this was one of the ways, it's been done up now, got a nice like path here. But this was one of the ways back from lessons. And I'd always try and work out, do I go this way or another way or another way? Because I always try and go the way that I basically get bullied the least or robbed the least. And sometimes you go down this way and then you see some of the older boys coming along and you'd be like, it's a horrible feeling of I picked the wrong way today. I hate that. And even today I get that feeling when I've made a decision and then I see a bad consequence from it, and I get that same feeling in my brain of I made the wrong decision. So I used to have a teacher up here, a classroom here. I used to go, I liked the topic, and one day I got a message that the teacher had said he was going to rape me. So I stopped going to those lessons. I taught myself the subject. Every time that lesson was on, I would hide somewhere with a textbook and teach myself a subject. Funnily enough, that was actually the best A-level grade I got, was teaching myself. So, yeah, weird experience. Weird to be back here and see the classroom again. So we had our own hospital, and at one point my girlfriend was staying in the top floor, and I climbed up that drain to see her, and I fell when I was at the top. And fortunately there were loads of bushes down here at the time, so there was a soft landing. So I have left the premises now, heading back home, family in the van, as you can see from the sick bucket there. And I just wanted to finish by saying a big thank you to everyone on Facebook, people who used to go to my school, who wished me well for the day. That really meant a lot to me. It was really nice having your support on this challenging day. So big up to all of you, and thank you very much, and God bless.